We are going to start this half hour here with a closer look at President Biden under pressure from those who say that he should abandon his run for president. Joining us here are ABC White House correspondent MaryAlice Parks and NPR White House correspondent and ABC News contributor Asma Khalid. Welcome to you both. Good morning. Okay, so MaryAlice, let's start with you because you cover the White House every day. The president doesn't seem to be making any big changes.
No, there's no big change in strategy. In fact, his team has insisted that they are staying the course. They say that they still think he can win if they get him out there more, if they work closely with organizers. But I can tell you that is an answer that has been wholly unsatisfying to a lot of these members who are running themselves in tight races. And they say that voters just already think the damage has been done, that they think he is too old. It's also been interesting to me to listen to even staff at the president's campaign who are worried that that top brass is in denial about how bad the political situation really is. You know, one source who works with the party described it to me. He said he thought it was a campaign that is paralyzed. He said that these members of Congress are not dumb. If they're waiting for numbers, they're waiting for data. And if the Biden campaign had good data about how they were still going to pull this off, they would show it. And so far, they have not showed it to those members of Congress. And that is why you've seen more and more defections.
So, Asma, let's get your impressions of this news conference that Biden did the other night. Did it do enough or anything really to ease those concerns?
Yeah, I don't think it fundamentally changed the status quo. If you look at President Biden and his team, they feel re-energized. He got a sort of boost of optimism. You saw him give that fiery speech in Michigan yesterday. On the other hand, though, I don't think it actually alleviated any of the Democratic angst in the party. You saw additional defections from lawmakers, members of Congress. And so, you know, the Democratic Party as a whole, I would say, is in this very awkward state of limbo at this moment where all this fixation is on Biden, though the party, certainly some Democratic voters and lawmakers, want the preoccupation and the fixation to be on Donald Trump and his campaign. But right now, it's all on Biden.
And MaryAlice, you mentioned the numbers, and the president himself has said the only way he would even consider stepping aside is if the polls showed he had no chance of winning. What do the latest numbers show? Yeah,
the Biden campaign is pointing to polls like ours that show that since the debate, the numbers in that head-to-head matchup between Biden and Trump have not really moved, still within the margin of error, a virtual tie. But I think it's important to remember that we don't elect presidents with just one national vote, right? Through the Electoral College process, it's those battleground states that matter so much. And that's where we've heard Democratic operatives really worry. They are concerned about the polling that they are seeing in places like Wisconsin. They are saying that some of these even more traditionally sort of safer blue states, like Minnesota and Virginia, they are worried since the debate could now be more vulnerable and in play. And there is some clues, I think, some moments where we see that kind of anxiety we're hearing from Democrats, even in our own polls, when you get at the questions about excitement. In our own poll, we saw that only about a third of Biden's supporters said they strongly support him. Others sort of reluctantly so. And that's where Democrats are really worried that even some of his own supporters might just feel like they can't be bothered to vote.
And that worry, Asma, has a lot of people talking about Vice President Harris. You've interviewed her several times. Yep. It seems like all eyes are on her right now.
That's right. And that's in particular because some lawmakers, when they have suggested that they want Joe Biden to drop out, they will cite Kamala Harris, his vice president, as the potential candidate in waiting here. Look, you know, I think the Vice President Harris has evolved in the role. There's no doubt about that. I've seen that myself, even in interviews I've done with her. She sort of struggled to find her footing. But I think after the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe versus Wade, she really came into her own. She's been the main messenger on abortion and reproductive rights. But she is in this very awkward position as well right now, where she's been out on the campaign trail trying to refocus the campaign on Donald Trump, while also being one of the few people who can really be a key validator of Biden in this moment. Telling people, I see him in the Oval Office, she says, I see what he's been able to be like. And that's what she's trying to do. You know, at the same time, the Trump campaign Republicans have taken wasted no time in trying to focus on her. You heard Donald Trump just this week talking about her, giving her a nickname, calling her Laughing Kamala, mispronouncing her name. And I can anticipate you're going to probably see more of that.
Asma, MaryAlice, thank you both so much.